Hello, welcome to week 2 training video. Several plays last week, so I tried to narrow it down to 14 plays and a couple of quick reviews from the original training video from week 1. First off, there was a play on there in regards to a untouched ball by Team B on a free kick. Touching the ground in the end zone is a touchback. Again, untouched by Team B. The ball touching the ground in the end zone is a touchback. That does apply to free kicks and scrimmage kicks. On the video, I had just said free kicks, but it is both scrimmage kicks and free kicks. Okay, once again, as always, video is not intended to demean anybody. It's strictly for educational purposes. So, here we go. I have one correction also from last week in regards to adjacent players, who's protected, whatnot, on the line of scrimmage. So, quick review. Right now, you see the two defenders in the black jerseys are heads up on an offensive lineman. So while they are heads up, the two adjacent linemen, if there were one, you see on the left, there is no tight end. But if there were 3 linemen there, when that defender is heads up, the offensive lineman that he is heads up with, as well as the 2 on each side, offensive lineman, would be protected if the defender were to go in the zone and offense were to react. Same over on the right-hand side. If they had a 3rd guy over on the right, all 3 would be protected. Now, once the defense shifts into a gap, at this point, just the 2 offensive linemen would be protected. So that's the correction from week 1. Just wanted to get that out there and clarify that. Okay, for this week, these are all plays from May 18th. Week 2. And the first couple plays are going to be in regards to unabated to the quarterback, defensive offside. Yeah, you see he's more than even with the offensive lineman. He's past him at this point. We still let the play go. Well, at this point, nothing good is going to happen. In fact, you actually see a lot of the defenders have given up on the play and quit. It could be a safety issue or a cheap touchdown. So when he gets even, for safety purposes, when they are even with that offensive lineman, there's no way that lineman can throw a block now. So for safety reasons, they don't take a quarterback's head off. We need to shut that down as unabated to the quarterback. Okay, you see some of the defenders even stop and give up. Okay, play 2 is another example of unabated. This one we actually do shut down, but we are very late to shut down. At that point, it's a safety issue. If he were to keep going, he could actually hurt somebody, particularly the quarterback. So we do finally shut it down, but at this point, ladies and gentlemen, we want to go crashing in with some urgency. We should be crashing in to shut the play down, tooting our whistles, letting everybody know that the play is dead so that we don't have anybody thinking that's live and taking a cheap shot on somebody. Okay, play 3. This is it's a good talk to, I think. I'm not sure that we got this guy or not, but I would agree with not throwing a foul, but we definitely want to see this guy, and we want to talk to him. The guy he hits doesn't go down, but you see the runner is already down. The play is over. He comes in and gives an unnecessary shove. Now, that may not be anything early in the game, but that certainly could turn into something a lot worse as the game progresses, or if you have a heated rivalry, and so on. So let's at least talk to this guy and tell him, hey, knock it off. Okay, this play here, it's hard to tell. I believe we have an illegal formation because I don't see people shifting. Everybody gets set, so I believe we have an illegal formation. If so, we are splitting hairs. In fact, it looks like illegal formation. The tackle on the left side might be off a little bit, but that's either scoot him up. That's something we'd want to warn early on. But I don't see a flag from the near sideline of scrimmage official. and I can't quite see one from the far side. So it's tough to tell, but we do have a flag in here for something. We end up penalizing the offense. So let's just make these bigger. If I'm having to go through this and not able to tell, and John here is giving the signal, but unfortunately he's kind of behind some players. So let's also clear these players out so that we have room to give our announcement. Okay, play 5. This is a example. We got a couple of blocking below the waist here. This is the running back here. So remember, by definition, the running back is partially restricted. The only restricted or unrestricted offensive players are the 5 down linemen within the tackle box on the line of scrimmage. And that's it, stationary. Everyone else is either partially restricted or restricted. So this running back is not in motion. He is stationary and he is in the tackle box. So therefore, he is partially restricted. So he cannot block from the side. He can block 10-2, and he can block towards his own end zone as long as the ball is still in the zone. But what we have here is very close to a side block. It's tough to tell by that angle, but it's very, very close to a block from the side. So we want to see these. Well, we want to talk to the guys. And again, remember, the person throwing the block must come from a 10-2 direction. Just getting your head in front simply is not enough to say you're a 10-2. And I certainly would support a foul there. So let's try to get this straight up, players, if we can. And here, the next play, we have almost the exact same situation, just going the opposite direction. Same, I don't know if it's the same running back or not, but right here again, not quite as tough because he actually turns sideways and does cut him in the shins there. He doesn't get him from the side. It's hard to tell on that other angle, so this one is more clear. This one would be legal. May not be the best block, but it is a legal block for the same reasons. He's a stationary back in the tackle box when the ball snapped. Okay, play 7 is a example of, it's something you rarely see here. Really, it's just kind of chicken fighting between offense and defense. And what we actually had was a discussion whether we should have offensive pass interference and defensive pass interference. Really, I think the correct thing in something like this, I think we ruled offensive pass interference because he kind of runs through him, but really the defender kind of stops at the same time. So if you watch here, I think a good no call would be warranted to talk to, as opposed to penalizing just one, because they both kind of go at each other here. So let's make it big. And at the end he is holding him, but also the offensive receiver drives into him. So rather than have 2, let's try to talk to him. And if we have to call 2 and they're both there, then certainly that's okay. But just an interesting play to look at, talk amongst the crew, see how you might handle that one. They play 8. It's a good call for roughing the passer here. You see the guy has a couple steps. We don't measure the steps or how far they're going. This isn't the NFL. Bottom line is, the quarterback is still in a passing posture, so he's defenseless. Okay, certainly not targeting, but your antenna should go up. He's defenseless, so if you have a hit to the head or neck area, we could have targeting. Either way, the hit is unnecessary. The ball is gone. The defender simply could run past him or stop, and instead elects to shove him, give him an extra shove. So good call for not throwing on targeting, and a good call for roughing the passer. Okay, play 9. This is an example of offensive hold. Make sure that when we have these offensive holds, number one, we want them to be at the point of attack, which this one is, but we also want, we look for 2 verbs, a grab and restrict, a hook and a turn. a takedown, something that really restricts the defender. Here, the defender gets turned sideways and pretty much just gets overpowered. Now, I don't have an end zone shot, so it's possible he maybe pulled him in. That's not showing up here. But it really looks like a very big offensive lineman that kind of overpowers a smaller guy. So if you're not sure on these, stay away from them. Let the referee and umpire get these. They've got the best look. Usually defenders are kind of get up looking for a hold and throwing their hands up in the air. He doesn't really make much of a reaction. You know, it just looks like he kind of gets overpowered here. Try to make these bigger. Okay, and this play 10 here is another offensive hold. This one too is at the point of attack. This is a correct call. Kind of what I was just mentioning about the restriction and the two verbs. You see, there's our gentleman, and here's where the foul occurs. Right there, he's still fine. His back is to who he's blocking for, but now who he's blocking for is past him, yet his back is in a different direction. So at this point, he is in a position where he is beat. And that defender certainly has a chance to get to the quarterback. He pulls him in slight, but just enough to restrict him to allow the quarterback to get free and, of course, throw a touchdown pass. So that's a great call. Again, it wasn't huge, wasn't long, but it was enough restriction right at the point of attack to certainly get a flag down and call. So good job by this referee, Cecil, and good job looking where you're supposed to be looking. All right, play 11. This is just a discussion. It's happened to all of us at one point or another. Kind of have a scuffle after the play. So I'll kind of let it play here for a second. Now you see here, this guy's in chase mode even though the play is over. He's looking. He's going that fast chasing somebody. He's looking to do something. So right there we should be looking, and I think we do have some eyes on him. Now he continues to go. We get flags down. That's good. It's a great job. Remember, we got to take note of that yard line, but we do want to separate the players, okay? Now at this point, we start having several of us go over. Now if you notice on the bottom of the screen, bottom right, 81, where Pueblo comes running in. I don't know if he came off the bench or not, but that could be an ejection for leaving the bench area. Now, what we have here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the 7 officials all on one side. So if one team goes to another side's bench or anything, we don't have anybody there to stop or nip that in the bud. So what I'm getting at is the officials here on the bottom of the screen, rather than run all the way across the field, let the officials on that sideline and let the officials in the middle start to work with that and separate them. The head linesman, the line judge and the field judge on the bottom of the screen, you want to get out ahead of the players out to about the hash marks and turn around and hold them back, because their tendency is to come and leave the bench. Right now, you can come out to about here, turn around, stop, hold them back. Okay, it's easy to get excited. Everybody sees a fight. We get in there to break them up, but really there's nobody watching all these players behind us. So stay on your sideline and police that side. Good learning play, though. Discuss that as a crew as well and just see how you'd like to handle it. Okay, play 12. This is a good no call. It's really not a foul. You'll get a lot of yelling from the sideline, especially if it's the opposite side. They'll usually want something like this, but it's a hit that is right at the sideline. The runner is still in bounds, and so is the guy making the tackle. So it's a good call. He starts to engage right now, and he's still in bounds. Takes another step or two. Sometimes it doesn't look the best, but that is not a foul, and that's a good judgment by the line of scrimmage official here to stay away from that. And play 13. This one here is, trying to recall this play, forgive me guys. That's right, this is an excellent job again by the same line of scrimmage official. We have a close to double action. If you don't see it, you're not in position quickly. It could look as if he fell right on the line, has a first down, but actually is just short, knee down, shoulder, elbow is about to touch. The ball is short. It's where the ball is when his knee is down. Good job by the line of scrimmage official here to rule short. And clearly short, not an inch or two away from the line, but clearly more than a ball's length away, so there's no argument there. All right, last play here, play 14. This is just an example. It's late in the game, but we've always got to be prepared from opening kickoff to, and actually from the time we take the field to the time we leave the field. Game is pretty much in hand, but there's still people looking to do ill will for some reason. So anyway, here we've got a number 24 about to highlight there. Behind the play, you see he's chasing. He's not in a position to block anybody. He's just chasing a bunch of people. If he's blocking somebody, he'd be turned the other way, waiting for them to block. So right here, you see a guy like that. Hopefully your antennas go up. Watch what he's doing. And of course, play's over, just about, boom. Blindside block right there. You could make that could just say a personal foul, but really with that new blindside block rule, you might as well make it that, because this guy does not see the block coming. And there's really no need for it. So, and in addition to a flag, we want to get in there. We want to let them know. We want to keep our emotions in check. We don't want to yell at them or anything, but we need to get in there and say, hey, that's enough. That's not allowed anymore. That may have been allowed last year because it's on the side. Right now, that's not allowed anymore. It is a blindside block. So just remember, start to finish, stay focused, get the big ones, let the little ones go, make them at the point of attack or safety related. I do appreciate everyone's time so far this season. We're whipping up to have it looks like a pretty good summer and hopefully a pretty good rest of the season. So I thank you all for your hard work and dedication. To those working this weekend, have a wonderful game, and we'll catch up with everybody next week.